Morning everyone, it's day 67, I think. Just leaving the day shelter. There was a few guys that arrived late last night and they're still sleeping, so yeah, that makes for a bit of a slow repack in the morning when you got people sleeping all around you. So trying to make it to John's, I think it's John's Spring shelter today. It's about 24 miles, and we're going over Dragon's Tooth today as well. So I don't know how long that's going to take to get over that. I've heard it's fairly slow going, so we'll do our best. We'll do our best. It is a beautiful day today. Phone's not picking it up, but we've got a nice sunrise coming. And we've got about a 1,600 foot incline once I get down to the bottom here. And we'll make the most of it. Alright, let's get to it. We're only about 5 or 6 minutes, maybe 8 tops, coming down from Niday shelter. And you know, this stream here is actually running a little deeper than the water source there, which you got to go down about, I don't know, 50 meters down a fairly steep bank to go get it. So yeah, if you're passing through, this is a better option just north of Niday shelter. It's definitely easier getting water out of this one. Oop. Tree roots. So feeling good this morning, nice and rejuvenated. I woke up smelling clean and delicious after my bath last night. Everybody else around me smelled like, you know, ass. It's amazing how much better you sleep when you're just, you know, not a big clammy mess. And let's see how we're going to get through this here. And it certainly works that way with me. When I'm clean, I just sleep better. And you know, I sleep in my town clothes at night. And because I don't like sleeping with my legs stuck together from sweat. It's funny, man. I tried sleeping in shorts one time when I had a big day, and man, I just couldn't sleep. Thighs were like Velcro, sticking together. God, it was annoying. It was the only time I did that. But it's just good for morale. It's just good for morale, man, to just be clean. Smell nice. It's pretty through here this morning. That stream is following us as we walk along. You actually cross it a second time. And the second crossing is actually deeper. So yeah, there's a couple of good water options as you pass Niday shelter. Love this type of trail. Anytime this gets better is when it's covered in pine needles, which it was just back there. I would really like to get 24 miles in today. Yesterday it was frustrating. I would have gone, I mean, it's barely 2 miles, I think, to these potential other campsites. Now, I'm not hanging out with drunken, homeless people. I'm just not doing it. Especially when so many people who are homeless in this country are homeless because I've got, you know, mental issues. And they don't have access to medication, so they just use alcohol, you know. So yeah, I need to put myself in situations like that. All right, we will meet again. Oh yeah. Yes, that is ice in there. And yeah, I'm having this for breakfast. If you think I'm not drinking Orange Crush ice cold first thing in the morning, you're high. High. I'm grabbing a Coke as well. Because water is in short supply going forward. We've got about an 8 or 9 mile gap with no water going up the ridge line, so awesome, awesome, awesome. How cool is that? Love trail magic. Alright, we've just come down the hill and we're up this road here, and there's a parking lot. And there's room here for about 8 to 10 tents fairly easily. It's 2 fire rings, and you're right by this expanded stream that would have started uphill where we were earlier. Lovely spot, but you know, you're right by a road. And you know, like I always say, man, if you're by yourself, man, male or female, you just don't know who's going to rock up. But if you're in a decent group, that's it's not a bad spot, man. And it's an yeah, it's an asphalt road. And the water's continuing on the other side, so God, it was nice to get some trail magic this morning. I'm nursing my Orange Crush carefully as we walk here. Don't want to waste it. Don't want to waste it. Yeah, there wasn't really any evidence of camping north of Niday down to the spot. I mean, you know, you're in a pine forest for the most part, so I mean, you can always make it happen. But it's interesting that no one's really done it. So I'm assuming that there must be some pretty decent camping around here, like the young lady I met yesterday heading south said. Yeah, and they had bottled water with the trail magic as well, so I used that to top up. But yeah, you can camp around here. There's a spot just in there where you can see the brown leaves. You could fit several tents there. Alright, we'll pick this up if I come to a really nice campsite here. Now this is how you do footbridges. That's some pretty deep water. Now, that's heading south. So that area down there, I mean, you could certainly utilize that. I mean, you could fit about 7 tents down there fairly easily. I'm not saying it's something that people have used, but it's certainly wide and flat, so. There's campsite here, but you want to make sure that there wasn't rain in the forecast or stuff like that, because you can tell this is flooded here. So you're only about a foot above the water level as it is. Brush Mountain. Yeah, I mean, you can tell this whole area floods. So it's a little bit precarious. I mean, if you hadn't had rain for ages and there was no rain in the forecast, it'd knock yourself out. So. Yeah. Yeah, the young lady said that they were drinking liquor out of flasks. Yeah, and that was only I think that was about 3:34 in the afternoon. So. Yeah, they must get massive amounts of water passing through here. There's evidence of leaf matter all the way up here, and that's easily 5 feet above where the water's at now. But yeah, this is usable. I mean, you're on gravel, which is okay. I mean, definitely want to have a ground sheet down. Footprint. Immediate camping up here. Might be something just around that corner. Hey, squirrel. Okay. Yeah. This is where I'd camp. I mean, there's still rocks in the ground here. But this is a lot safer with how that water floods down there. And there's an area just past those trees that's flat. And that looks like it's been used as well, so definitely usable camping area. Alright, we'll pick this up later. And we just crossed our third footbridge. It doesn't have side rails, so it's just a little one. And well, you could fit 2 tents in here maybe. But you're right by the water. And you're up high, you're about 10 or 11 feet easy. So this is a nice spot. We just crossed over another little stream here, and we're still only about an hour and 10 minutes, if that, from Niday shelter heading north. And there's a little flat area in here with a fire pit, and you can maybe fit 3 tents tops, and not particularly large ones. You're about 6-7 feet above the water there, so it's not a bad option. And this is a more minor tributary, so I don't think this thing would really flood in a hurry. But yeah, nice spot. You got multiple campsites, an hour and 10 minutes north of Niday. That's just where we were, but this whole area down here is flat. And there's some evidence of firing down there. But again, you know, you're right by a steep slope, so if it's raining, you may get some water coming down on you, but down from the hillside. But that whole flat area, that's about 7 feet above the water line. And yeah, actually, that is a fire pit down there. It's hard to make out. There we go. Right there. I mean, you can fit 100 tents in here. And there's an elevated flat platform above the water. Too easy. And, you know, a good distance away from the road, so you shouldn't have any other local idiots coming to harass you. Well, we've been steadily walking up this hill. The gradient's not hideous. It's not too bad. There's some switchbacks as well. Great solid trail, gravelly. And you could fit 2 of my tents side by side on this. And this is the only thing. Once you really start coming up this hill, this is the only place so far that you could actually set up a tent. Obviously with hammocks, not an issue, but yeah, so far. And let's see, from the day, yeah, we're still about an hour and 45, hour and 50 minutes, so it's definitely some decent options if Niday is not your cup of tea or if the place is packed. And we will continue on. Yeah, it's pretty white blossom tree just by the side of the trail. It's hard to tell with the sky behind it, but there's like little fluffy pom-poms on the end. It's just one tree by itself. Very pretty. Reminds me of my cherry blossom tree back at the house. Oh. Yeah, the trail up here is it's fairly reminiscent of coming out of Petersburg. A decent chunk of it, the gradient's a little steeper, but the quality of the trail is very, very similar. We're just a little ways past that white blossom tree in probably about 15 minutes. Maybe a little more past the last usable camp area for tents. And you could fit three or four maybe, like 2-person tents up here. And they've got a little firing. Yeah, this is a good area, this one. We got some decent views out at this time of year, at least. Seen some very fat squirrels up here today. Very fat squirrels. You know, it was funny. I was having a quick snack a little further back, and I think it was one of the young hikers that rocked up at the shelter last night after 8. I didn't get a good look at their faces, but you know, he's rocking about a 12, maybe 14-pound pack, you know, all weight included, and he's just plowing through. So he was coming up to me as I've got my pack off and enjoying my snack and smelling the pine trees, and all that other good stuff. I said, man, you know, how about those camping areas just below? He's like, huh? I said, those camping areas down there, mate, you could fit a lot of tents down there. Be a great spot. He goes, oh, I didn't even see it. And, you know, it just blows my mind. And, I mean, at the moment, it's mostly like millennials that I'm seeing up here, just blasting through the woods. And, you know, what was that quote that was on that mural in Damascus? Is the Appalachian Trail, the footpath for those who seek the wilderness, I think is what it was, or something fairly close to that. And these young guys and gals, they're just completely missing the point. Just completely missing the point of being out here. It's just a notch on the belt. It's just something to brag to their friends that they did the AT, you know. But they didn't see it. And like I said before, man, God, I'd rather just be on a treadmill if that's all that I was worried about, was knocking out mileage a day. You know, be at home comfortable. You know, have a home cooked meal every night. Glass of scotch in my hand. But yeah, I don't understand it. I don't understand the point of being out here if you've got no interest in actually being out here. It's just being out here is between Georgia and Maine. Yeah, it's weird. Very weird. Oh well. Well, we've just made it up to the, I guess, the top ridgeline. Nice new sign. And a bench. How awesome is that? I don't know where that one's going down there. But I feel this desire, this strange desire to follow the white blaze. So we will go in this direction. I don't care what branch of the military you're from. There's no way you're passing this and not heading up that hill. And there's a campsite here too. Firing. Room for about 7 or 8 tents easily. We'll pop up there. Absolute legend. Absolute legend. That's a man who lived a full life. Go, brother. Anyone deserves to rest in peace is that man. God, even I'm getting emotional. Alright, bye. Yeah, started descending down this, this ridgeline a little bit. We're about 20 minutes at least from the Audie Murphy Monument. And you got a fire ring here. Over this side, there's areas to tent. Now, there's not a lot of tenting. There's probably room for 2, maybe 3. But, you know, obviously good hammocking. Yeah, not a bad spot. Not a bad spot. Limited options on this ridgeline. It's fairly narrow. And in sections, south of this, it's very, very narrow, so there's nothing going on up there. But onwards. Alright, we are finally off that damn ridgeline. And common sense prevailed, and they've cut side trails into the hillside all the way down. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, ridgelines get old, man. Now, if they could all be like that wonderful grassy trail leading up to Audie Murphy's monument, you know, from Georgia to Maine, man, ridgelines would be awesome. Awesome. However, it's just not the case. The stuff I like. Yeah, you're not picking it up, but there's some really pretty farms down there. Smells nice in here, a mixture of leaves and pine needles. Very nice. We're still making our way down from the ridgeline on these nicely switched back gravel trails, and we're about an hour from the Audie Murphy monument, I would say, maybe a little more. And there's a useful little spot here. It's right by the trail. You could fit 1 to 3 person with room, and maybe two persons. But it's actually a fairly handy location, because like I said, man, there's not a lot of options on this ridgeline. So yeah. Well, we made it down to the bottom. Huh, look at that. What are those going to turn out to be? There's a very usable campsite here. I mean, you're right by the road. There's a private house through there. And again, as I always say, good if you're in a group. Would do it as a single female. Let's see how easy it is to get down to this water on the other side. This is the last water, well, reliable water for about 12 miles or so. And, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get it on the other side. So I'm gonna drink one of my bottles and fill it up again, and that'll give me 3 to get up to the top today. Well, after coming up that initial fairly decent incline, the trail levels out, and we should be, I don't know, about 10 minutes or so from the shelter. Well, we made it to Pickle Branch shelter, and it's off the AT. In the book it says it's 0.3 of a mile. The sign up there says it's 0.5 of a mile. It definitely felt like more than 0.3, I'll tell you that much. Standard shelter. Looks like we've got birds that have tried nesting in this. I'm not looking forward to that walk back up there. I mean, it goes up there fairly steep, and then it, you know, somewhat levelly going back to the trail. But yeah, that definitely felt like more than 0.3, man. There's 3 or 4 campsites from the trail down here. I don't know if I would tent around the shelter. And the water source here is, I think, 0.2 of a mile down that way. I can't remember in the book if it said if it's reliable or not, but I can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it on this, but it's running. It's absolutely running, so I don't need it, thank God, because I ain't going down a hill like that for 0.2 of a mile. I'm gonna have some lunch and get the hell out of here. I don't normally come off the trail for 0.3 to have lunch, but I'm making sandwiches with my bagels and everything else. It's just easier to do it on a table. Plus, you know, get to show you a shelter. It looks like it's got a new roof. It's in very good condition. And we got Dragon's Tooth coming up. That's about 4 miles from here, so get some calories into me for that. And I'll see you back on the trail. Well, I'll show you the campsites on the way out.